let's dive into it, shall we? All right, Pauper Elves. Again, this is our 5th expansion or dive into Pauper. I'm still kind of learning my way around the format. I have no idea if this configuration of Elves is good, bad, stock, tier 1, tier 20. This is a... Thanks, Magari. Appreciate it. This is a pretty typical... I'm counting on the people that sent things in to help me out. One thing worth noting here is that we have 9 basic forests, and then we have 4 land grants. And one thing I'm not quite sure on is what is the appeal of playing land grant over a forest. I guess land grant is kind of a land that untaps Nettle Sentinel. That seems to be the payoff. Is this version better than something else? I have no idea. Again, there's no good source for knowing what decks in Pauper are competitive and what decks aren't, from my understanding, and which configurations are good. There's just random 5-0 lists. This is a version that I had submitted, and this is what we're going to play. I don't have enough experience with this format to dictate what's better or worse than the others. Hey, Fam Squid. $85 in subscriptions later. I remember when you played Blue-White Approach and Amonkhet Standard. Yeah. We did a very, very small amount of that standard on MTGO. How have I been liking Pauper? I don't know. The good decks in this format seem kind of middling. I don't know. Like, they're grindy, but like it feels like they're grindy in a kind of tedious way. And I'm not really sure how I feel about it overall. Yeah. I don't know that it's a good kind of grind. They're grindy in a you're gonna run out of clock to play your match kind of way, which is like not the grindy I'm interested in. Like running the risk of like bumping up against your timer every round is like not super enjoyable in my opinion. It almost feels like we've hit. Like, Modern is, like, one extreme, right? With, like, turn 2 Hogox and Vengevines and stuff. This kind of feels like it's in the other direction in a pretty extreme way. Bulletproof Pope coming in hot with the 29 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Looks like we're playing against Bogles here. Bogles, for those unfamiliar with that term, is an archetype where... Bogles is an archetype that plays a hexproof creature that puts a bunch of enchantments on it. And this one I can't even block here, huh? So I'm going to go ahead and play the Priest of Titania here, which gives me a green for each elf I control. And then I could tap 2 of my elves with the Birchlore Ranger's ability, a Birchlore Ranger, to cast this. But these make 1/1s whenever we cast an elf spell. So I think I'd rather wait to hold on to this to trigger these Huntmasters. So we're just going to go ahead and pass here. Lord Spamalot, coming in hot with the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Mr. Tasty, thank you for the very generous tier 2 and for the 21 months. Welcome, folks. Taking 6 here, down to 14. We're not able to block this because it can only be blocked by creatures with flying. So we kind of need to draw like a Wellwisher this turn. Yeah, not finding a Wellwisher this turn might be the death of us. So I'm going to do this, cast this, Stream Decker. Yep, we'll get that updated. Good call. Alright, Stream Decker should be good. Always yes. Alright, so I feel like we kind of did our thing here. But I'm not sure that's going to be good enough against the Bogles. I have how much power here? This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 18 power in play on turn 4. This is like, you know, it's pretty impressive. We got real big. Are we dead? I believe we've died. Nope. 13. We're not dead this turn, but we can't win the game anymore, right? If we'd have had this last turn, we would have been able to kill them because it gives something plus power equal to the number of elves we control, but alas, it is not meant to be. Let's just smack them really quick and then we'll concede. Hey, what's going on, Logan? I hope your recovery is swift. As a heads up, something that I need to make sure I'm plugging this week for people that don't follow me on Twitter and aren't in the Discord is that we're going to be doing long streams today and tomorrow, but then I'm going to be off for the second half of Wednesday and Thursday, Friday this week, so I'm going to be at Gen Con. My wife and I are leaving Wednesday afternoon. Alright, so Gleeful Sabotage sounds great here. This conspires, so you get to kill 2 things. Wellwisher sounds great. Moment's Peace is just a fog that flashes back, so that sounds great. Caustic Caterpillar destroys an artifact or enchantment as well. Let's get that in here. I'm planning to play... I guess this Electrickery is technically a card for this matchup, huh? Massive Raid seems a little bit slow, maybe. I think I want to cut some of the grind out of this deck. I'm planning to play in the... There's a Warhammer TCG event that I've played a good bit of that, and I've been playing it in my off stream a little bit again recently, so I'm planning to play that. Oh. Deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Oh, with flying? I thought that said without for a second. I was like, that would be bad in our deck, but good against Bogles. Hi, wifey.
Hi. You're talking about Gen Con?
We are talking about Gen Con.
I'm excited.
My wife is very excited. Christy is a big board game fan, and I play some board games too, so I mostly just go and follow her around and we demo what she wants to demo. Alright, I'm trimming the Winding Ways and the Lead the Stampedes because we're boarding in a lot of non-creature spells, so I think that makes sense. I think Winding Way is better to keep in than Lead the Stampede. I'm not sure exactly how choked on mana this deck gets on occasion. It might be better to do the inverse, like leave Lead and cut Winding Way. What do you think of the Ball Lightning Tribal deck in Modern? I think it's adorable, and you could definitely win some matches with it like we did last time we played it on stream, but I'd be surprised if it's super competitive.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, these are the Overwatch wings? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Around me.
Yeah. You're adorable. Yeah, this hand seems good. This deck doesn't have that many lands in it, so I feel like most of your hands that are 2-landers you just kind of snap off.
Wow. See you later. Have fun with the internet.
Always.
Not too much fun.
Not too much fun.
Matt wouldn't do.
Don't do it. That doesn't limit me very much. Don't do anything Matt wouldn't do. So I think Wellwisher here is one of our best tools in a matchup like this. This lets us gain a ton of life. So I think I want to Wellwisher into Quirion Ranger here. And then I already made a land drop for the turn. So Quirion Ranger returns a forest we control to our hand to untap an elf. This lets us make a lot of mana. It lets us double untap Wellwisher. Let's do lots of different things. Never an opponent chooses targets. Okay, so this just like protects their stuff. I haven't. I have no idea what this deck is doing. If I have field twiddle. Oh, Modern. So if I play Vanguard, I can float mana with this, and then... Oh, this turns off my Quirion Ranger. It turns off my Timberwatch Elf too, huh? Yikes. Alright, well, pivot. You can get big Vanguard though. What does that mean? Oh, I can grow this. Yeah. Yeah. they played a standard bearer. So basically all my things like Timberwatch Elf and Quirion Ranger that like target my own stuff, that wants to target my own stuff, have to target this instead. Which is really awkward because I drew... Maybe I want to cut Timberwatch Elves for the next game, if that's the case. Okay, I think I probably want to cut Timberwatch Elves. Oh, this is a 1-2. What am I doing? I don't think it really matters. We have plenty of mana. I'm gonna draw the 4 mana elf now that I said that, but it's definitely not worth dealing 1 extra point of damage to attack with this. Or to lose that. I think we're probably dead anyways. I don't know that we're going to beat this card. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Gross. That feels bad, man. And this has been the tough part. So like we played a few really grindy decks. We played a few really grindy decks, and they felt really tedious. And then the couple of aggro decks we've played have felt really bad. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. Someone asked how the Pauper numbers were doing earlier. The first couple of Pauper videos got a lot of views, and that's pretty typical. It's like the first couple of Underlords videos got a lot of views, but then like hype tends to fall off as like when it's not new and novel anymore. So I have to take a hit this turn, and then I get to Gleeful Sabotage, the armor, and the cloak. And we gained a little bit with the Wellwisher. Yeah, basically, Jin. So you can never really judge it based on the first couple videos, which is why when I did this, I was like, okay, we're gonna do 5 of them, right? Because I understand how this works, so. I guess I should just cast this Timberwatch Elf, huh? Really no reason not to. I'm not sure, Nivek. There might be some delay on mobile, too. I'm uncertain. What would it take for you to get in line for the WotC panel super early and be in the front row at Gen Con? I have no idea. What day is it? I guess drawing this was a reason. Saturday I'm playing in a Warhammer thing. Drawing this was a reason to hold on to the Timberwatch Elf. Yeah, I don't think I want to just use this to just take them off of white mana. I think if they play another enchantment that's kind of worth killing, I'll probably kill that plus the Abundant Growth. It's Thursday from 6 to 6:50. I definitely don't have any plans Thursday night. Alright, I think a bunch of our tricks are turned off. But I think we're actually winning this game for the time being. Especially with the other Sabotage in my hand here. So like this is going up to a 7/7. And live stream it. There probably are rules against live streaming certain things. I would definitely need to get permission to do that. Fling. Sure. You have flung your bogle at my Wellwisher. Don't mind me Just chunk it in for 7. Again and again and again. Vocals do seem aerodynamic. Alright, little elf warrior. You ready to go under a bus? Alright, and they drew... I missed your sub. Sorry about that, Prime. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Love the content. Your stream's a joy and constantly improves my play. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Alright, and then we can sabotage, mask, and the cartouche. And we'll tap these 2 that are summoning sick. Target that one. Alright, and they concede. Alright, so is it crazy to cut the Timberwatch Elves if they're boarding in Standard Bearers? I feel like I want to cut the Timberwatch Elves if they're boarding in Standard Bearers. I had boarded out a Vanguard, so let's fix that. I typically only run 2. I feel like I want to get rid of some of these at least. I'm going to bring in the last Winding Way. I think Lead the Stampede might be better. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure which of these 2 is better. You want Longbow? I guess that's technically okay in, like, board stall situations. I don't know. That seems worse than just, like... Just seems worse than just, like, ignoring it. I feel like I'd rather just cut things that it's good against rather than board in narrow things. Like, obviously, like, that game shows where you can just win through it. I bought full art. I bought borderless lands. So, I don't know that I'm gonna... The full art lands, as opposed to the borderless lands, don't really look functionally different. Longest relationship I've ever had. Tag HG, thank you for the 17 months support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. We have 4 copies of the card Land Grant in our deck, which is basically a green spell that fetches a forest. So this deck is effectively a 13 land deck with a bunch of green creatures that tap to make mana, or our Quirion Ranger that kind of pick our lands back up and let us use them twice on a turn. This is actually our first hand where we haven't had a land or a thing in it, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan here. Yeah, this hand looks great. I'm going to keep... I think I'm going to bottom... I'm going to bottom a Birchlore Ranger. If they have a Standard Bearer, I'm a little bit sad that I kept this, but I think there's a chance... that... that they don't have it, and then this card's really good if they don't. Just played against Bane Spirits and turn 2 comboed them twice. Yep. Yep. I knock on desk, but it's nice that we're playing against mostly foil Bogles here, and our moto hasn't crashed yet this morning, so that's nice. Opponent's timer here, sitting running down. Type in their timer. Well, how are you typing in their timer? Because I'm bored. Quirion Ranger's a great draw here. It'll let us go. It'll let us play a lot of stuff next turn, actually. I was going to say foils are their win card. Yep. Alright, they're on the play here with a relatively aggressive start. They have like an Ancestral Mask or an Armadillo Cloak next turn. We could be in a little bit of trouble. So this is how one of the ways we're able to get away with having fewer lands. So Quirion Ranger untaps my mana creature and then replays the land back out, which is really nice. So we're going to play Priest here. And now the question is, how much of my hand do I want to vomit out? Because I could play Rangers, play Fyndhorn Elves. But if I save things in my hand, I'm able to trigger the Huntmaster more next turn. So I think I'm going to hold on to the Rangers for now. And then next turn we can go activate Priest, untap Priest, activate Priest, play Huntmaster, play this, play this. No 3-mana enchantment here bodes well for us. Just a lifelink, sure. Yep, going to 12. Yeah, we need to fade Trample for a little bit here, for sure. Always, yes, always yield. So if we can fade Trample next turn, our Timberwatch Elf will then be active, which means we don't really care about Trample anymore, right? Yeah, definitely, Helios. Thanks for the support, I appreciate it. That's true. I need to dodge Trample, I need to dodge Standard Bearer. That is very, very true. So I currently have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 11 elves, so this is going to give plus 22 along on the back of Quirion Ranger, assuming there's no Standard Bearer. There's a Trample. I have a Mask as well. Yep. So I have to put 7 toughness in front of this. Right? Now I have to put 8 toughness in front of it. Yeah, we're technically not dead. It's very possible I should have chump blocked the 5 damage last turn because it didn't have trample then. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is one too many. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to give up the Huntmaster here, though. Which means I'm probably dead. Yeah, we can't. I don't think we can really do anything, right? So I can cast this, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elves. So I can give plus 12, and I have a 13, 13, but that's not enough. That's another part of this format. I don't know a format where Bogles is like a pretty commonly played deck is something that I'm really into. The mask gives +2/+2 for every enchantment they have in play. So it gave it like +12/+12. We have Lead the Stampede and Winding Way for card advantage. So we can churn through and put a lot of stuff into play. Oh, it's not even just your enchantments, just enchantments in general. Oh, old templating. Front page hype. That's funny. At least when we're randomly on the front page, we're not the primary focus. Just putting Bodo on the primary focus would be wild. Time Lord, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It's 15 months now that I watch Jeff, and I never tire of him. Well, I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday morning wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Moto, I don't know, of all the things they could have put energy into, redesigning this interface to make it, I don't know, look like a bad theme from Windows Vista was an interesting way to spend their development resources. These Huntmasters feel like they create a lot of the things in this deck feel like they create this kind of awkward tension. Because, like, I want to play out all my 1-drops first so I can make a bunch of mana. But then cards like Vanguard and Huntmaster make me want to wait to play my things out. So that way, I'm getting value from them. I'll have you know Windows Vista is the pinnacle of OSs. It's something. Idol, thank you for the 23 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. We went into this league with me mentioning I wasn't sure how I felt about how grindy it was, so it's only fitting that we're going to get run down by Bogles and then Affinity in this league, it feels like. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be a lasting one, Zanman. I said when we started, I believe in collecting a reasonable amount of data before I make decisions on things. So this is our 5th league. This is the last Pauper league I have in the queue. I'm going to take a step back after we get back from Gen Con and look at how all the videos did as a whole and get feedback from subs and see how people feel about it, but I don't know. Radio Jawa, thank you for the quarter viewer support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. It kind of feels in a way like this format is like Legacy, but it's missing the parts that make Legacy neat. I feel like of all the things that are possible in Legacy, this format is doing some of them and not the good parts of it, if that makes sense. So I can technically cast this Timberwatch Elf, but I'm going to die if I do that, right? So I think I have to pass back here. I need 8 blockers for these ATOGs. The Teamer Battle Rage is legal in this format, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty much, Burgle. Our deck is pretty much just like hoping they don't do their thing and we do our thing. And so far, we're 2 for 2 on kind of feeling like their thing significantly outclasses our thing. I mean, if I don't block this, I'm taking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So like I have to block both of these or I die. Yeah, Pauper in my schedule is if there's Pauper in my schedule, it's directly competing with Modern. So if we're doing Pauper content, that means we're doing less Modern. And now I'm just like kind of under the triple abyss here, right? Like I guess I technically don't have to block all of these now, right? So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's count the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they can give plus 22 to one of these, but I can gain 5. So I think I'm just going to block this ATOG. And I'm going to say go. Save to sacrifice 3 artifacts to kill this. Yeah, I agree, Jen. I've actually really enjoyed the Modern content recently. Since I became more selective about which decks I'm accepting to play, Modern's been a lot of fun. Playing actual competitive Modern has been fun recently. All right, and I think we might actually be en route to stabilizing here, because I'm gonna start pumping out a lot of elves at this point. So unless they rip like a Fling or a Teamer Battle Rage next turn, I think this Wellwisher is gonna get out of control. Deft Fangirl, let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for the 12 months of support, I appreciate that. Thanks for the sub-train, folks. Thanks for keeping me around. Pithy with the 10 months checking in, and Zanaga, thank you for the 15. Hope you all are having a wonderful start to your week. Happy Monday. Modern blue-white. I am happy to play my preferred configuration of blue-white control. 1 less for each artifact you control. Can't be blocked this turn, sure. For you're wondering how that differs, my preferred iteration of blue-white control still has a bunch of copies of Terminus in it. All right, so let's just count their artifacts again. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I'm just gonna say no blocks here because my elf warriors are worth a lot of life over time here. Yeah, I agree. And for people that's saying that blue-white control is competitive, here's all I'm going to say about Modern. Reed Duke elected not to play Jund at this Pro Tour, and Gabriel Nassif elected not to play blue-white control. Reasonable people, draw your conclusions from there. That's all I'm going to say. If you're going to make an argument that these fair decks are good, that's what you need to know. Reed Duke elected not to play Jund, and Gabriel Nassif elected not to play blue-white. So stop telling me these decks are good. If those decks were good, those players would have registered them. Now, if you love those decks, Magic's a game that you should play the decks you love. But I get it that people did well with those decks, so that's what I always say. People are always like, but Jeff, those decks top 8'd. Yeah, there were so many people playing them that they top 8'd. That's how this works, by sheer force of will. When the champions of those decks stop playing them. Did I miss lethal here? I think I might have missed lethal. I don't think it really matters. Our opponent's very dead here. We've solidly out-lineared our opponent. Let's get linear. I want to get linear. Let's get into linear. Do 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 do. That's true too. They also top 8'd by doing well at limited. No, I don't think that's true, Nivik. I think standard right now is fine. To set a bar that's incredibly low, I think the current standard format is better than it was before they printed M20. But that's like, probably doesn't surprise anyone who's been around to hear that, because I was really pretty down on war standard. But I think the current standard format is fine. It's not like GRN standard, where it's like my favorite format I've ever played. But in terms... No, I just didn't see it. Nivik, I was scrolling back up. In terms of overall standard formats, I think it's definitely more than passable. There's plenty... It's not like War Standard where the deck queue slowed down and people became completely disinterested. Like, I'm still having plenty of standard deck submissions. I have 3 different decks that I really like in this standard format. JAC is Jeskai Ascendancy combo. This hand's okay. It's like technically a 3-lander, but it gets to go like Caterpillar into Priest. I've been enjoying Pauper. Not really. It's been alright. This deck seems sweet. And parts of it too is like, part of the reason why I've been having... I'm weary to give a strong opinion is because, like, I don't really know if these decks I've been playing are good or bad. So, like, I don't know if I haven't been enjoying it because people have been submitting crappy decks, or if I've been getting unlucky. Like, my sample sizes are small. And as someone who believes in trying to get reasonable data, I definitely, like, after 4 matches, that's, like, not a reasonable selection of data. Yeah, the most terrifying thing about the Hogok stats from over the weekend is that you need to understand that Hogok put up the numbers that it did while deck lists were public and Leyline of the Void was the most played card of the tournament. So I want you to imagine how much better Hogok would be if people didn't know when they should be mulliganing to their Leylines game 1. And if Leyline's not the most played card in the format. Those numbers change drastically if those two things aren't true. Unfortunately, my opponent getting a little bit magicked here. This happens in every format, standard, modern, pauper. Sometimes you just take a couple mulligans and never hit a second land drop and die. Yeah, Tron won the Open too, which is excellent. People who are familiar with Pauper, are there any aristocrat style decks in this format? Decks that are like, or hardened scale style decks? Decks that are like aggressive but have a lot of choices in them? Because I feel like this deck and the red aggro deck that we played are like, they're not the long, grindy, tedious Pauper decks that we played a couple of times, but they also are just very, very straightforward. I'm told Tortured Existence is one of the decks that you're going to run on a clock with a lot of the time. Yeah, from my understanding, Tortured Existence is not an aggro deck. So again, might not look like it, but this is technically a 2-lander with the land grant here. Yeah, sure. Magic related clips are always welcome in this chat. You don't need to ask for those. Feel free to just post away. Oh, I should have cast land grant to because I could draw force. I guess if I draw force, it doesn't really matter. Is it Delver's a good choice? Okay. All right, well. I think I want to lead on Vanguard here and just start powering up the squad. Just like grow my children grow. And again, this is the kind of one of the awkward tensions in this deck, it feels like. Like, I want to get, like, Quirion Ranger and Nettle Sentinel down, but my creatures dictate that I need to sequence things like Vanguard first. So, like, this turn, for instance, I didn't draw a land, so now I want a Quirion Ranger pick up this forest so I can replay it, and now, like, I want to get this priest going so I can make a bunch of mana next turn, potentially, but now I've played out 2 elves before I play this Vanguard, so I'm inefficient in that way. El Sahar, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. You're having a wonderful Monday. Best part of the SCG event was the first match in the top 8 people voted to see Tron played. Listen, when Tron is your good guy, you need to take a step back and think about what's going on in your format. When you look back and go, oh gosh, Tron's the good guy here. It's one of those, what have we done? What has happened? Jerry Freeman, Smoothie, thank you for the 19 months of support. There's a good chance that Twitch Prime does buy a smoothie, to be fair. I might have a Smoothie King addiction. For people who are my regulars, we have 2 pieces of channel news this morning. The first is that thanks for the welcome. Big fan of your content. Just discovered my Prime account could get me this. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Twitch Prime pays my mortgage these days, so thanks for keeping me around. 2 pieces of channel news this morning. One is that this is going to be my last month with Tempo Storm. That doesn't really change anything on the channel. You're just going to see some branding changes happen into August. And the second is that my schedule is a little bit different this week, so I'm going to Gen Con the second half of this week, so long streams today and tomorrow, and then I'm going to be off Wednesday afternoon and Thursday and Friday. This is a Scattershot Archer matchup, right? Does the opponent's deck have, like, Spellstutter sprites and stuff in it, or am I thinking of something else? Anyone know? It seems like Wellwisher's probably okay here if they're a little bit aggressive. Well, I'll probably be there again next year, Jid. I'll probably be there again next year. This seems like a matchup where I want all these grindy effects. I feel like this is probably a matchup where Timberwatch Elf is unnecessary. Not only is it a little bit expensive, but I would bet my opponent's going to be keeping my board kind of small, and I probably don't need large blockers. Just going wide here is probably more than sufficient. Don't currently have any other plans with any other organizations, Wunk. at the core with like what I do and like what team affiliations mean. The team affiliations are mostly just like it's an ad deal essentially, since I don't really play in competitive tournaments. So their ad ticker will come off and Blitz, welcome back. You're right. Civic Nexus in Modern is fun, and I took it to last F&M. I understand you won't accept it, but I follow my heart. Yeah, that's not going to be one we play on Moto. Good golly. Yeah, they're a fairy deck, right? Which means I want Spell Scatter. I might want these longbows too. Yeah, I'm going to put the longbows in over these Timberwatch Elves. No, it's completely unrelated to that, Jin. They don't things like that are small peanuts. If I had to venture a guess, I would assume part of the reason that they ended up needing to adjust the contract again and then ultimately splitting up is because I wasn't running advertisements. I'm pretty sure, and this actually kind of surprised me, I'm pretty sure I'm the only Tempo Storm person that said no to running 6 minutes of ads per hour. Which, I honestly thought some of the other people would be there alongside me, but it is what it is. Alright, and again, like, this is that kind of awkward tension I've been talking about, where like, how many of my things do I run into play here versus how many do I keep for the post Huntmaster? I think the answer is I want to play 2. I think that's the answer. I think I'm going to play Sentinel and Llanowar Elves here and then attack for 1. Thank you for being descriptive with your plays so I can listen to you play while I work and do adult responsibilities. Well, thanks for the 10 months, Sandals. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Caleb mentioned his ads are going away next month. Huh, I wonder if he's splitting up too. I mean, yeah, 6 minutes is a lot. Like if they had asked me for like 2 minutes of ads per hour or maybe even 3, I probably would have been okay with it. But like 10% is a big percent in my opinion. Like, obviously people can and should do, like, whatever is right for them, but... Oh, they're playing some kind of Jeskai deck. Yeah, this card seems pretty omnipresent in this format, this Astrolab card, which is a newer card from the Modern Master set. Well, it's even more than television in a way, or it's more offensive than television in a way, Paperscape, because a lot of the time, 6 minutes of ads is so much for Twitch that, like, you have to play the ads over... You have to play the ads over your content. So I think what we do here is we cast Birchlore, and then we make green... And then we play Huntmaster, and then because we have the Nettle Sentinel and the Birchlore, this is the first time we kind of gotten to pop off like this. So now I get to go tap, tap, play another. This will make some mana. Yeah, my average chill is like, even with like playing the funny Hoaglandia commercial, my average chill probably lasts like 3 minutes tops. And I integrate those, right? Like you're not missing actual content while they happen. They're more organic, is the right way to phrase it. Yeah, exactly, Jin. And I only do like my goal is like 2 shill breaks per day. Like I have 2 pages worth of sponsors, and I try to hit each one once per day. Very organic, considering the dabbing man is covered in fruits. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one when I was showing you my pages. Don't make your life garbage time, chap. That's unfortunate. And now it kind of feels like we're back to, now like my opponent has played the mighty 2-3. Ooh, this is actually a really good draw. So that's a good draw because it lets me double activate this Scattershot Archer. So if they block 1/1s here, I get to kill both of their things. Thought your 2-3s were gonna get one over on me, did ya? Nice 2-3s. Fire! Fear my tiny green people. Now you have to overwrite your content and play. I've given everybody Hoaglandia ad blue. So like, no, give me the advertisement. God bless you, little Scattershot Archer. The Gatling gun has been loaded, right? It's not quite Bile Blight, but it'll do in a pinch. I think we're playing the waiting game at this point. I don't really want to attack into this with my 2/2 because if they cast any spell, this gets prowess and lifelink, which undoes a lot of my work. Where do we get that ad from? That was from my buddy Andrew, who's been on stream before, Mike Pletz. Well, it's been a while since he's been over. Yes, yeah, we need actually, and I boarded Timberwatch Elf out, right? Yeah, huh? Because I thought they were Delver. Game 1, we only, that's a really good draw. Game 1, we only saw, Game 1, we only saw a couple of blue. Vomit. All right, I'm gonna start holding elves in my hand at this point because I think our way out of this is to hit a Huntmaster and then go wide. He is, Jerry. Yeah, Andrew played a bunch of Hex. He's a local friend. Andrew is actually responsible for getting me to play competitive paper Magic. The first SCG Open I went to was his idea. So for better or worse, he's to blame for me being here. Yep. Think I just do this? No, I guess I'm still hosed by one removal spell here, right? Because they just killed the Nettle Sentinel. Alright, well that went much better than expected. He's the Frankenstein and you're his monster? Yeah, basically. Essentially. Went to SCG Columbus over the weekend with just Guy Tempo list you've been playing. I got the Tron matchup 4 times, the Dredge once, and I did 4, 3, and 1. Want to say thanks for always talking through your decisions, and the playstyles on your stream has been very helpful. Hey, congrats and condolences on your finish. Batting slightly above 500 is always a decent place to be. We actually cast a Lead the Stampede, Tom, and we drew 1 card with it last turn, so... Right? Maybe this one will do better. Hey! Do 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 do. Little unfortunate that we don't have enough mana to play the Priest this turn, but next turn we'll be able to place Priest plus Wellwishers, which is nice. Maybe I actually just want to double Wellwisher. I don't have anything to really do with the Priest mana, right? They must have a bunch more removal in hand, right? Because we just showed them double Wellwisher. Nice, Irate. Morning, Dauber. They must just have a bunch more removal here, huh? I feel like popping off the Scattershot Archers when they know these Wellwishers are coming seems a little bit loose otherwise. Maybe they just have more flying creatures. We're gonna see like another hawk come down. Oh, come on, opponent. They could have Electrickery. Yeah, that's true. They did kill off my 2 1 toughness creatures there. I don't know where I'm at on Pauper, Dauber. The aggro decks have felt a little bit like linear for my taste on average, and the non-aggro decks are like grindy to the point of being tedious, it feels like. Slagyo, thank you for the half a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the 9 months, Blood Moons. Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see what the information looks like from like in terms of the view count. Yeah, I'm just gonna be done. And then like even this, like there's so many grindy decks in this format that you just get like ground into the dirt even when you're playing an aggro deck some of the time. What do you think of Tireless Tribe? I don't know what that refers to. I guess I want these Timberwatch Elves. You want to just, like, up my individual card power level a little bit, maybe? These Viridian Longbows seem less good against what the opponent's doing. I thought they were on Delver when I boarded these in. Thrilling it. Thank you for the 16 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I haven't played enough Pauper to, like, really give educated or informed opinions on too many of the decks. Like, when you're asking me about fringe archetypes, the answer is pretty much I don't know. Tribe isn't playable without Gush. I think I keep this. It's a little bit land heavy, but my opponent's deck is killing most of my stuff anyway, so I think I just want to start with the most cards possible in my hand. What are my thoughts on the MTGA Guild event so far? I don't know that I really have thoughts on it. I'm gonna be honest and say I don't know which one you're. Is that the one where there's pre-built decks? Is that one? I think the pre-built decks event is a great idea, and it's something that should be in the client all of the time. I think things like that are a great way to give new players a sample of some of the interesting cards and variety Magic has to offer. I think if there was always a pre-built decks queue, that would be great. Pokemon TCG had a starter decks queue on their application that always seemed really interesting. So Quirion Ranger here, again, seeing some of this awkward tension where, like, I want to play out my mana producers first, but at the same time, I also, like, want to play them afterwards because of this Huntmaster. Yeah, being able to share decks with friends via direct challenges would be nice. And again, I think a lot of those features are just they would like to have them, but they haven't had a chance to implement them just yet. So Standard Bearer hoses my Quirion Ranger. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate this Wellwisher an extra time here really quick. Hey, that's neat, Alti. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Pokemon TCG Online, but I remember when I played it, the starter deck queue was one of those things, like, I personally didn't have an interest in it, but it was one of those things where, like, this is really sweet, and I'm glad it exists. Yeah, Brawl seems neat. More Arena allowing more ways for people to play with their Arena cards is awesome. I've often said on stream, the thing that makes Magic great isn't just one format. It's because Magic is essentially a rules engine for playing lots of different formats, and giving people more opportunities to play with the cards they like in different ways is everything that we should want for Arena. So even if I personally won't play Brawl, I think the fact that it's going to exist is excellent. All right, time to go sufficiently wide here, hopefully. Is there a Pyroclasm that sees play in this format? Is that a thing I need to worry about? You'll brawl for money? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Best of one isn't really my forte. Blitz is the big reason. I generally prefer to play Magic in a best of 3 setting. So Timberwatch Elf completely shut down by the Standard Bearer here. Standard Bearer here requires that any spell or ability that could target it does target it. We could get Electrickery. Yeah, that's true. That's a card that we're playing. Other people could be playing as well. No, I'm not planning to add Brawl to my normal deck queue. I'm planning to allow historic donations in the fall, and I probably won't expand into Brawl unless my deck queue can't support arena content with just standard and historic. But I'd be surprised if we can't support it with just standard and historic. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other great content creators out there that do some Brawl stuff, but focusing on the non-singleton format has always been kind of my thing here. No, I would be very surprised if multiplayer happens on Arena. It's incredibly unlikely. From a technicals perspective, adding multiplayer is incredibly difficult. Kazenti, thank you for the 20 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Anti-Trumpet, thank you for the 19 months. Not only is the decision-making process of sideboarding Thunderwunk, but just even if Brawl didn't have sideboards and it was best of 3, I think it would be fine. Magic just has such an incredible amount of inherent variance built into it that if you're not playing best of 3, there's just going to be a lot of games where you functionally just don't get to play Magic just because of how Magic is as a game. I still don't have good attacks here, right? Like, if I attack with everything, they block this, 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 and this, and I'm hitting them for 1, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably 1 or 2 more turns before I start attacking them, and, like, I'm at 71, so I'm not in a huge rush. I would bet that adding multiplayer to Arena would be more work than adding Modern to Arena. And obviously I can't know that with certainty without knowing what their code base looks like. But if they've implemented a reasonable way to add cards to Arena without programming each card individually, which is something they've claimed, adding Modern is probably more feasible than adding multiplayer. If they block with a flyer, I get to shoot it down. That's true. That's true. It's good to be back. Burst GP was fun, but I'm glad I don't have to play 12 hours of Magic one sitting for a while. Thanks for the 4 months, Chris. Good to have you around. Fantastic work as always. 1 more month. Also, was able to add you on Go. Boulder Beard. Thank you for the 11 months, Dwarf Lord. Yeah, if you're someone who plays Pokemon Go and you want to exchange gifts on occasion, I have a lot of friends, so I don't get to send gifts to everyone every day, but I send out gifts when I have them. I'm always happy to keep my own item bag full if you're someone who has extras usually. My Go code was posted on Twitter at some point. My wife and I play with some frequency. Actually, it's funny. We have 2 small children, obviously, so we don't get to play a super whole lot without them tagging along with us, so we're looking forward to spending some afternoons and evenings playing Go at Gen Con. Yeah, I kind of agree, Zanman. Like, a game like this, it's like, well, we're kind of hanging out here. It's like, I'm not even sure if we're ahead or not. Which is why we're kind of talking about other things. You can actually run Arena on OS X the same way I run it on Linux, which is by using Wine technology. So if you're someone who prefers to use Unix operating systems, that's definitely an option you have available to you. Even these attacks aren't very good, right? It's like gobble my stuff up. I think I'm just passing. We're waiting on like a Lead the Stampede at this point. I can't use Timberwatch Elf. They have a standard bearer in play. This is the reason we're sitting here. This is the reason I can't use my Scattershot Archers along with Quirion Ranger to shoot down all of their 2/3s. Yeah, I think we're supposed to wait until we can one-shot them, basically. I played main deck Surgicals at the GP and only boarded them out in 2 of the 15 rounds. What is modern? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. No, they only shoot flyers. I don't have Longbow in my deck right now, because we didn't see Standard Bearer in Game 2. I had it in for Game 2 and then boarded it out for Game 3, because we didn't see anything in Game 2 that it killed. So I think at this point, I'm going to start holding on to my elves that I draw, because if I draw a Vanguard, I want to be able to power that up. And we're dead. I'm gonna move on to Modern. I think we're gonna be done with Pauper on the channel. This format overall just like was kind of meh. The games are kind of the games felt tedious with almost every archetype that we played. Like I feel like the best way to describe my experience with Modern, or with Pauper, was that at one point in one of these leagues, we were 2-0 in matches and 4-0 in games, and I had no desire to continue playing the league. Like, literally hadn't lost a game, and I was just like, man, this is kind of bad. And like, that's probably a sign that it's not something I'm interested in doing. Yeah, just kind of bleh. And it's definitely a personal opinion. If you enjoy this format, don't let my dislike from it harsh your jam. But yeah, I don't think this is one for me, and I think this is gonna be the last time we dive into Pauper on stream. We're gonna stick to Modern and the occasional Legacy in the morning. Speaking of, let's roll on into Modern here. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it, Nivik. But I mean, even things like that, thanks, are like really tedious and slow to click through, right? Legacy's fine on occasion. Legacy's at least doing like really powerful, interesting things on average. Playing bad decks in Legacy is also not great.